So what I'm going to want to do is when I am doing this, I'm going to want to bring his leg past the 90 degrees. So at this point, I am too short. I can't do that, right? So here we are. I'm able to bring it past the 90 degrees. And one thing I always do keep in mind is where my bottom is. I don't want to create any sort of weird traction on the knee. So I want to be like lined up with his body without a toe cramp. And this leg is just hanging out. So I will pass up the 90 degree and just lay back. Nothing crazy. I'm not using my biceps. I'm using my body to just. And you can almost see sometimes once I get to the middle, like a slight bend. So say someone has osteoporosis. Am I going to be doing this to someone with fragile bones? No. My dad with his knee surgery, yeah, he can handle it. You know, I mean, I don't go in quite as fearless as when I go in with Robert. With Robert, I'm like, I know he's, a strong, healthy male. He likes it. He likes strong pressure.
Not old, sick, and infirm yet.
Not yet. We're still nice and healthy. So with my dad, I just go in slow, a little bit slower, and come out a little.
When you're doing Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and you pull across multiple joints, what gives first?
You pull this. Well, it depends on your attack. Yeah, what's weakest. But
So, and it's similar in a sense. Like, I don't do Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. I'm just trying to use a frame of reference. For some people, and I'm trying to think about what I'm feeling. Okay, I feel more pull in my quad, and then up here, because my hamstrings aren't particularly tight, and I'm not responding to this compression. But as my femur starts to bend, I feel this traction in the tissue up here. This is just my body. For some people, you do this, and they're like, oh. I'm like, where do you feel that? And they're like, my low back. Because it is going across the ankle, going across the knee, and going across the hip. Does this make sense?
Yeah.
Now, when she's there, for some reason, I get more in my hamstring.
Probably something to do with the fact that my heel is getting a little close to the hamstring.
Yeah.
But one thing I do want to emphasize, because as I'm teaching, I'm new to teaching in person. I've been teaching online, but as I'm learning things that I need to kind of emphasize on, that maybe the students aren't picking up as the first time. So one thing I do want to really emphasize is the fact that when I come in, I'm bringing his leg past 90 degrees. My leg is straight. At that point, if you have a client that has ankle stuff, as I said, we just pull ahead above it. Also, another thing you might deal with, clients that lotion up. It's great. Happy they lotion up, not before our sessions. So I try to remind them if it is a client that comes in super slick, hey, can you try to not do that next time? Try to just wait till after session. But during session, what you do is just grab a towel or a pillowcase, wrap it around, and that gives you what you need to get that traction. Yeah.
Because I'm bigger than she is, she extends her leg completely, then she's pulling me onto her foot. She's not really pushing
against you.
No, she's just extending her leg and pulling me onto her foot. This is easier to do, and it's way less leg work. It's way less muscle. You don't want to muscle big guys.
They will win. He'll get beat up in the process.
And yeah, when she's a little higher up, I feel it more up here. Now I feel it more in the hamstring. Yeah.
This is always a common spot where people are like, oh, that's good. Right in the belly.
Yeah.
So once we get to a certain point, the leg starts getting a little funky. This is still a good place, but if I go any more south, my heel is getting into his personal space. As we're working, this is about as far as you go, because then it starts getting a little weird. I'm not trying to. I will flip my foot.
To get the lateral hamstring? Oh, to bring it in.
To bring it down. So we've stomp, stomp, stomp.
Stomp me.
I did.
And I'm pro sound effects.
Yeah, I am all sound effects. That's also another compilation we'll have is my sound effects. Because I cannot control myself. I'm like, those are free. So we've just opened the leg. And this is the reason why you might at some point catch yourself trying to use this leg. You're like, what is it doing? But the reason why we don't is because it's so fluid to just be like, flip the foot, pull it down. If a client wants less pressure, I may just lock them in.
If I was
Stomp, stomp, stomp.
deeper